United Nations, the spike in food, fuel and fertilizer prices sparked by the war in Ukraine is threatening to push countries around the world into famine, bringing global destabilization, starvation and mass migration on an unprecedented scale, a top UN official warned Wednesday. David Beasley, head of the UN World Food Programme, said its latest analysis shows that a record 345 million acutely hungry people are marching to the brink of starvation, a 25% increase from 276 million at the start of 2022 before Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24. The number stood at 135 million before the COVID-19 pandemic in early 2020. There's a real danger it will climb even higher in the months ahead, he said. Even more worrying is that when this group is broken down, a staggering 50 million people in 45 countries are just one step away from famine. Beasley spoke at a high-level UN meeting for the release of the latest report on global hunger by the World Food Programme and for other UN agencies. The report, The State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World, says world hunger rose in 2021, with around 2.3 billion people facing moderate or severe difficulty obtaining enough to eat. The number facing severe food insecurity increased to about 924 million. The prevalence of undernourishment, when food consumption is insufficient to maintain an active and healthy life, is used to measure hunger, and it continued to rise in 2021. The report estimates that between 702 million and 828 million people faced hunger last year. Beasley said in the virtual comments that the impact of the conflict in Ukraine, the breadbasket of the world, on global food availability and food security means the number of chronically hungry people in the world is likely already much higher than the 828 million. Before the war, Ukraine, Russia and its ally Belarus, meanwhile, are the world's number 2 and 3 producers of potash, a key ingredient of fertilizer. Beasley called for an urgent political solution that would allow Ukrainian wheat and grain to re-enter global markets. He also urged substantial new funding for humanitarian groups to deal with the skyrocketing levels of hunger, governments to resist protectionism and keep trade flowing, and investments to help the poorest countries protect themselves against hunger and other shocks. If we had successfully UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has been trying to put together a package that would enable Ukraine to resume exporting wheat and other commodities and Russia to ship grain and fertilizer to world markets. UN spokesman Stephane Dujarric said Wednesday that discussions are continuing. Issued by the World Food Programme, the UN